Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Round 5 review, the end of Gather Round. Well, I'm in a pretty happy mood. I was thinking of trading one of my, premiums out, but I didn't. And yeah, seems like we've got an answer to one of our questions that we had in the preseason. Who is going to take the Dan Houston role? Well, it might be Connor Dan Houston Rosie, who's coming off halfback, and he scored well, and we held him, so that's pretty good. So, he at the end of next round of DPPs, he could get defender status, perhaps, which will be very handy. Speaking of DPPs, well, the new ones have just landed. So I know this says fantasy, but it applies to Supercoach as well. So let's have a look here. If we go down here, alright, so who's got added defender status? Rory Laird, yep, we knew that. Mark Blitzars, Hamling, if you got him as a rookie prize. Wicks, yep, Dacos, McInnes, Finn O'Sullivan, Ruben Jinby, Harley Reid, ooh, Jack Silvani, Oliver Hollands, Jasper Fletcher, okay, Oscar Baker, Harvey Gallagher, Dylan Shield, Harrison Petty, Caleb Windsor, Connor Stone. That's one that's Supercoach relevant. Although his ceiling is about a 40, so we might try and move him on. Ryan Burns, Anthony Kamamiti, Anus Hasty, Jace Burgoyne, and CJ. Alright, so not really too many that many people would have there. Added midfielder status. So we've got Rankin, which is expected, Curtin, Florent, Corey Warner, Harry Perryman, Lockie Weller, Connor Buderick, Colby McKercher, Robert Hansen, Harry Sheasel, so that would be handy. Tyrell Dewar, Joel Frazier, Sam Davidson, Harrison Jones, Kay Chandler, James Trezise, Tyler Sonzi, and Jack McRae. Alright, so a few forwards there getting mid status, and Harry Sheasel. But you probably keep them in your back line or your forwards. Sam de Koning, if you got him. He's the only one that picked up ruck status. Alright. And added forward status, we've got James Peatling, Sid Draper, Patrick Dangerfield, good for my Keeper League draft side. Chad Warner, also good for my Keeper League side. Graydon Campbell, Tom McCartan, Tom Hanley, Will Graham, Will Phillips, Lewis Young, Cooper Lord, Brodie Kemp, Levi Ashcroft, that's handy. James O'Donnell, Sam Draper, he got ruck forward status. Could be handy with Nick Bryan going down, if you want to go there. I probably wouldn't, but anyway. Nick Martin, defender forward, handy. Archie Perkins, Tom Sparrow, Petrarca. One that we could look at, Harry Sharp, Jack Henderson, who probably be dropped this week. Jack Ross, Sam Lawler, Jacob Blight, Murphy Reed, wish I got him, Cornelius, Travis Boak, and Blake Hardwick. And that rounds out all the fantasy and Supercoach DPP changes for round 6, for the start of round 6. Okay, so what were the trades that I made this week? Well, we traded out Tristan Cherry because, I wasn't happy with the 3 ruck setup with the flex. And Cherry, he looked he doesn't look right to me after, the hamstring injury. Like, I know he's still playing, but he's not scoring as well. I don't think he's moving around as much. I don't think he's training fully. So, there were just a few red flags for me. So I traded him out while I could before he leaked any more cash. We traded out O'Driscoll, who was out injured for the next few weeks. We brought in Clay Hall from West Coast, rookie price, and we brought in Whitfield, who managed to score his lowest score for like 20 games or something. And on to our captains. So I VC'd Tom de Koning. I was contemplating putting the seat on Whitfield. I knew the right decision was probably to take TDK score, but I went on Rookie Coach's live stream up late on the Saturday night, which was pretty good. So if you don't know Rookie Coach, subscribe to him. And I asked the question, would you put the C on Whitfield or just take TDK score? I'm pretty sure I knew the answer to this already, but I went, I'll just play it safe. I've had a few shite Crafton scores, so I'll just put the C on O'Connell, who was out with concussion, so I knew he wasn't going to play. Actually had Harry Boyd as well that I could have looped, but St Kilda sneakily put him as an emergency where they originally didn't. So there was a chance that he could come in. But yeah, we had O'Connell and we just put the captaincy on him. So if we go to my little spreadsheet here of our Supercoach captains, so we can add TDK 118. All right, so yeah, that's okay, I guess. So it brings up our captain's average to 112.6, which what was it before? Like 111. So yeah, still a bit of work to do with getting some captaincy scores right. Or picking the right VCs. All right, so lockout hasn't lifted yet, so we'll just go through the team's individual scores. So we scored a 2,213, which I don't think is too bad. And hey, I've still got 246,700 left in the bank because I want to do some upgrades this week. Yeah, so I'll go through a quick, what I might do later on. All right, once lockout lifts. So starting off from the back line, 82 from Zorko. Yeah, a bit disappointing there. After a hot start to the season. Whitfield, 86, like I said before, his worst score in about 20 games. Yeah, thanks, Lockie. But I expect him to lift. Harry Sheasel, 102, cracked a ton. I think he got quite a bit of the pill. I didn't watch any of this game, so yeah, he might have butchered a bit maybe, I'm not sure. But, he's hitting the ton, so that's what we want. Jordan Clark, 104, seems like he's been around this mark ever since I got him in. I thought I expected a bit more from him against Richmond, but I'm not sure what the severity of the injury is, but I think Luke Ryan went off in the last quarter, subbed out. I think I read somewhere like he had ice on his shoulder or something. I'm not sure if he'll miss or not, but I thought, that might help Jordan Clark get some more of those kick-ins. Matt Roberts, 79. Yeah, pretty disappointing. What do we do here? I think I might hold for one more week. Otherwise, we might need to consider our options here. Liam O'Connell, like I said before, we put the C on him. And what this also allowed me to do was, and I'm happy to do this, is loophole Zach Reed and Luke Trainer. So whoever plays first, put the emergency on them, because I think St Kilda have quite a few later games. And then, if I'm happy with the score, I'll put Liam O'Connell on. If not, I'll put the other one on. So, I was more than happy with Zach Reed's 104. Jeez, equal highest of my defenders, so I'll definitely take that. But I was probably going to take anything more than a 60. And we just had Luke Trainer on the bench. I was thinking, geez, please don't go over 104. But 80, that's pretty good. He's still going to be making, well, both of them are going to be still making money on the backline. So, there's some, we were worried about not having any backline rookies. So, there we go. And I don't have Connor O'Sullivan either. So, I think he scored like a 40 or something. So I think his cash making might be done. Lockie Neal, disappointing 90. I'm not sure if he was tagged. Oh, who did they play? The Bulldogs. Yeah, so I'm not sure what went on there. I didn't watch this game either. But come on, just want you to at least crack the ton. Connor, Dan Houston, Rose went into the back line, like I said before, 137. That was a good game to watch. Very enjoyable. Probably very enjoyable to anyone but Hawthorn supporters. Or maybe Adelaide supporters as well. But 137, very happy with that. Almost hit his break even. Well, about 30 points off, but a break even of 166, very hard to get. So, you could pick him up next week for might be less than 500k. Ooh. Adam Chera, 117 against West Coast. Yep, he's been pretty consistent, so we're happy with him. Clayton Oliver, a bit disappointing. He was tagged by Setterfield. Only scored an 86, so no idea what's going on with Melbourne. It's not looking good for them, but as an Essendon supporter, I'm pretty happy with that because we have their first round draft pick. Levi Ashcroft, who's gained forward status with a 90. Yep, beautiful. He's going to keep making us cash. Xavier Lindsay, 48, coming back from injury. I think he was just, his time on ground was a bit managed, so, and that 9 is still in his systems for another week, so be another couple of weeks before his cash generation starts again, but I'm pretty sure he'll be in the side. Jack Henderson, 13. Now, I put him on the ground. it was either him or Kako because I saw Max Hall was on the bench. So I was thinking, ooh, could he be the sub? I should have known he wouldn't have been the sub because Anos Hasty was on the bench as well. But I thought just to be safe, none of these guys were the sub. So I'll put one of them on the ground. So it'll either be Kako or Henderson. And yeah, I chose Henderson, who got subbed off for 13. So he's actually going to lose about 10k. So yeah, I think we've got to trade him out because I don't think he's going to keep his spot on the side. And yeah, Kako scored the 38. So either way, none of them. One of them would have been my lower score, so the score wouldn't have counted to my final score anyway. So yeah, nothing too bad there. Clay Hall 52. He was looking good at quarter time. I think he was on like, I don't know, somewhere between 25 and 30 or something like that. But then yeah, I don't think he scored anything in the last quarter. So yeah, could he keep his spot on the side? Well, at least he'll make us some quick cash this week at the least. Yeah, so yeah, probably expected a little bit more after that hot start. Max Hall, 62. Yeah, it's pretty much what he's been scoring, so hopefully he can keep his spot on the side, just get every dollar out of him maybe. Kako, 38. Yeah, I expect him. He's got West Coast this week. So on the Rookie Coach Live, I said, yeah, I'm probably going to trade out Kako, but might be someone else because they're playing West Coast. So I expect maybe a spike game there. Hewitt didn't play. He could be back this week. I think he was only on the injury list for this week. So we'll see what happens there. Maxi Gorn, 145. You know, he's back. Well, I hope he's back. And yeah, 145. Beautiful. Just if we put the VC on him, that would have been great. De Koning, 118. You know, even though I took his score, I'm very disappointed with this. Yeah, he's rucking against the easiest team to score against ruck-wise, and he only scored a 118. Yeah, I think who was he rushing against? BJ Williams. Come on, Tom. Some bad news as well for De Koning owners is Harry Mackay is out. I think he had a head clash, so I think he might be out for this week at least. Well, he will be. And also Brody Kemp, I think he had an Achilles injury, so yeah, he could be out for a long time. What that means for De Koning is he might be playing forward, and Mark Pitternet might come back. Well, he's probably a certainty to come back this week. They're playing North Melbourne this week, so maybe he's a hold. If they weren't playing bottom side, it'd be and especially after I traded out Cherry. So what do I do with this pick? Well, thinking maybe hold him this week and maybe go to Flynn, maybe make some cash, get some cash that way. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Got to wait till Flynn gets picked anyway. But surely I think BJ Williams didn't do much, and Flynn's been killing it in the waffle. So that could be an option, but we'll have to look at that week after, I think. And Harry Boyd didn't play. Onto the forwards. Jack McRae got tagged by, who's their tagger? Bedford's with a 70. Everyone's got him, so yeah, I'm not too worried about that. The Horny Man, Jason Horn-Francis with a 119, so that's two good scores in a row. Bailey Smith, 126. Yeah, gave the double bird to non-owners. But I think everyone's got him anyway. Those who didn't start with him surely got him in. Caleb Daniel, 116, which is what we expect. That's good. Bailey Humphrey, probably expected a bit more against North Melbourne, but he's got West Coast. Eston's got West Coast. They've got Richmond this week, so hopefully he can pump out a good score. Aiden Johnson didn't play. He was going to be my captain. Well, one of my captain options, if I took De Koning's, but I ended up going with O'Connell. And we had Davidson on the bench scoring a 61. That big score of 129, I think it was, he will now be out of his system. So, he's a trade-out candidate. And also Connor Stone, 39. That seems to be his ceiling. So, yeah, it might be time to move him on too. And we got Bice Baby at 89. All right, so yeah, that's how the team went. Now, just waiting for the team. Has lockout been lifted? Nope, still hasn't been lifted, so we're going to have to wait to see what our ranking is. All right, just wait a sec. Okay, looks like our Supercoach has finally decided to open up. I was a bit worried I'd be waiting till 3 in the morning, so let's see how we did. All right, where are we ranked? All right, we went up 4,189 places and we're at 10.5k basically. Okay, so pretty happy with that. We're on an upward trajectory, and with the trades I would like to do, I think we should. Hey, we won 6 out of 8. Congrats. All right, so let's have a look at some trade scenarios we can do. Alright, so I think I might trade out Stone. Right. Trade out Henderson, even though it's just gained DPP. And we might trade out, don't know if this is controversial or not, but Davidson. I think he's done his job. No. Oh, sorry. I had to activate a boost. Why can't I activate a boost? What? Okay, trade boost has been activated. Don't know what I did wrong there, but anyway. Alright, so what can we do here? So there's 3 possible off the top of my head rookies we could trade in. One is Saad Al Houli, who has defender mid status. We've got Tom Gross from the Eagles, midfielder. And we've also got Caden Cleary, who's a forward for the Swans. So I've got 2 forward spots here. So what I'm thinking of doing, I could put Ashcroft in the forward line. And let's trade in Cleary. Because I think Papley, I know they've got some players to come back, do the Swans this week. But Caden Cleary, could he be a replacement for Papley while he's injured? Could those 3 that are coming back, McInerney, who are the other ones? Oh, I can't even think. Anyway, I know there's 3. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out on if he's named the sub, because while the 3 coming back won't affect the spot that he's playing, it could push Cleary out to a sub, for example, if that makes sense. Anyway, enough about that. So Cleary. So let's also trade in Gross. And then we've got 641k to play with. So also with Stewart being laid out again, it gives us another week to maybe build up some more cash and maybe get him in next week potentially. So who can we pick? We can pick basically anyone, I'm pretty sure. Well, we're $400 short of trading in Jack Sinclair. Whew, ouch. So we can't do that. We could trade in Anus Brayshaw. Toby Green, I don't think so. There is someone that I am looking at. Let's maybe a Dacos. Oh. Wait, why is Levi Ashcroft back up there? Get back down here. We could pick up Nick Dacos and still have about 56k left in the bank. But what I'm thinking, Zach Merritt. Because if we look at Zach Merritt, right, break even 137, which he could get this week playing against the Eagles. Look at this run that he's got coming up. Wait, where is it? Oh, season stats. Oops. All right, so West Coast, then Collingwood, then North Melbourne, then Sydney, Western Bulldogs, then Richmond, and then it's the bye round. So he's got at least three pretty easy matchups for the next 5-6 weeks. So that's why I'm contemplating getting Zach Merritt. And as an Essendon supporter, I would love to have Zach Merritt in my side. So just for now, let's do that. Let's confirm. And I got 28 trades left. We're still with 3 boosts. So yeah, we could do that. And might put on, say, a Kako. So I think he might have a spike game here, potentially. If Hewitt doesn't play, I won't be able to loop because he's part of the same game. And then put Levi Ashcroft on here for Davidson. Hopefully Johnson can come back. Surely, Melbourne, pretty sure they need like a tall forward. Anyway, so that's what the team would look like. I think he gets one rookie off the field. Yeah, Clay Hall I put on the bench. All right, and Zach Merritt straight to my M1. All right, so that's looking a little better. All right, so finally, I'm just going to go through my early vice captain options. Hopefully Boyd's not named an emergency, so that's an easy one to do. So we'll believe the E on Zach Reed because he plays first against West Coast, and he could score well. Let's put the VC. You got Zorko playing as Collingwood, could be an option. De Koning, I don't think we can put De Koning as a vice captain if Petnet plays. Could we put Sheasel maybe against Carlton? Carlton ain't looking great, even though they won by 71 points. Gawn against an underdone Darcy. I think the V, I'm going to put it straight on Zach Merritt. Alright, and then where does St Kilda play? Yeah, they play second last game, so basically anyone. Maybe Max Gawn, just for now. Don't have any Gold Coast players that I could against Richmond. North play the early game. Could I VC Chera maybe? Or Zorko and make Zach Merritt captain. Anyway, I'll just leave it like that for now. So how much money I got left in the bank? 28k. Alright, so pretty happy with my side at the moment. So there's some cash generation going on here. Not as bad as I thought it was, probably about a week ago. Alright, so that's the team. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.